Okay guys, I'm going to try and get down a concept that I don't even want to admit. I've been kind of in denial about this aspect of why people are happy and what makes happiness for a while now, but of course I've been trying to push myself, and I've actually realised that there's no point denying the reality of this, that basically happiness is, or a large part of people's happiness is actually contrast. And what I mean by that is we are social creatures, and we're always comparing ourselves with other people and with ourselves. So what I'm saying is, if happiness is contrast, which I, to a large extent, not completely, not all your happiness is contrast, but certainly a large majority is, what I'm saying is that if you are into self-improvement and every day you're becoming a better person, that's definitely making you happier. And I can relate to that one. That's the definite. Each day that goes by and I become a little bit more wiser from the books I read. Each week that goes by and I take a little bit more action. I'm saving up the money for the business, and I'm getting the plans going. All that stuff. I've generally become more happier. But also I wrote down another few examples of happiness equals contrast, just to prove to you that there definitely is a link between happiness and happiness is contrast to some extent. So I've noticed that when I have work days, and when I work, I appreciate the day after, my day off work, more than say if I had 2 weeks or 3 weeks holiday back to back. By the middle of the second or third week, I've had so many days off, there's no contrast. And when there's no contrast and everything's just the same, you're always on holiday for such a long time. It feels like that when you're into it such a long time. There's no contrast, then you kind of lose happiness a little bit. And then all of a sudden I get excited when I've had 3 weeks off and I've got my day back to work. And then if I have a work, like I said, if I have a work day and then a non-work day after, that feeling is always quite high because I've just had a work day. So happiness in contrast is definitely showing itself in my work day versus non-work days. And when I have too long of a non-work day, I get pissed off. Not pissed off, I get but there's no contrast, and therefore I'm a little bit more miserable. And also, when I have too many days when I'm working non-stop, there's no contrast with the days off. So that also kind of like proves that happiness is contrast, because I get a bit unhappy in that. Also, my going out of the house days make my the day after when I'm in the house more enjoyable. Whereas if I just have 3 or 4 weeks and I've done nothing, I've not gone out of the house at all, which I've been known to do, there's no contrast there. But if I do go out after, say, it doesn't matter, if I go out of the house, then the day after I always feel better because I've got the contrast of going out versus not going out. Again, happiness is contrast, going out versus not going out, and your brain is just switching up slowly, and it's not in a routine of not going out for a long time or going out for a long time. There we go. Even as far as sleep goes, I never used to appreciate sleep because I always used to get good sleep, but then I started my job in Lidl's, and I had to go through severe lack of sleep. And it wasn't my fault, it's just the way the timetables work and with my meditation routines and all that. So I've experienced now what it feels like to be severely underslept, and it's not nice, guys. Anyone's been underslept, I never recommend it. Sleep is one of the key facets of happiness in itself, but the point is I'm talking about happiness as contrast. So when I had the really like 3 or 4 hours sleep one night, the next day and the day after, because it normally takes 2 days to recover from a severe lack of sleep, I appreciated my sleep more, and I never used to. And the reason why I appreciated my sleep more is because I had the reference experience, the contrast of severe undersleepment in my brain from the 2 days before. So happiness is contrast within a couple of days, if that makes any sense. Like if you get stuck in a routine of always having good sleep, you'll never know what it. Not only will you never know what it feels like to not have good sleep, you won't have any contrast. But if you are forced into the position of, or you just have a severe lack of sleep sometimes, that is a nice contrast switch up. Gives you a bit of happiness when you kind of, not I'm saying you should do this, but it does give you a bit of happiness when you do get proper sleep. If that makes any sense. So yeah, happiness is contrast. Severe lack of sleep, then all of a sudden you get sleep. It's a nice little thing going on there. It's more proof that happiness is contrast. And also people get in bad moods, and people get in bad moods because they're contrasting with the day before. Like your bad mood today, sometimes it's not always about other people in comparison to other people, it's sometimes about comparing to yourself. So if someone's in a bad mood today, it's because yesterday they had some fun experience and they can't live up to it that day. So it's contrast, isn't it? Having said that, if someone had a bad experience the day before, like yesterday, and then they feel alright, then nothing that put them in a bad mood yesterday is there, they're going to feel alright, and then that's happiness is contrast, because you've been in the bad mood now you're not. If that makes any sense. Yeah, it's kind of complicated, but happiness is definitely contrast, from what I see, from what I learned, from what I feel, and also if you want more information on the happiness contrast thing, definitely recommend you read Jonathan Haidt's book Happiness Hypothesis. It's got some good stuff on that as well. So yeah, peace.